Hi everybody, Gerone Wright here again, and the image that you're looking at here on my Geronification channel, this is actually drawings, or sketches, I guess, of the Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci. Okay, and I believe it's called the Study of the Last Supper, and this is from probably between the 14th and 15th century, somewhere along the line. I don't have the exact date with me here. However, I'm going to be decoding this image. I actually have posted some of the images before. I think in another relating video. I'm not for certain. I have 109, I think, plus videos now, and I lost track. But I'm going to go more in depth about some of the things that are actually being depicted here and what Leonardo da Vinci is actually showing us here. Some of the highlights that you can expect for me to make. I think that I already told you that there is a where we at over here? Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? You know what? I see a hooded woman right here. And that's what that is. You know what I see right there, people? The chin, the nose, and the eye, and this man's hair creates a hood of a hooded woman right there. But anyway, this doesn't surprise me because there's also an ape there. In the image right there, and it's shown where this guy here is passing the serpent, which is genetics, over to the ape. Look at the ape's mouth is receiving it. I'm going to let that down, but that's what that is. That's the witch-like woman with the hood on her head right there, which is equivalent to the Madonna-like woman. Okay? And then down here, where it appears that these guys, as if their hands are not going, like if this guy's hand is coming around and coming in, and it's up underneath the cloth here, and the same thing here, you see his hand there. However, there's a shadowed image which shows that his hand is actually going out, across, and down, and touching a sphere-like object right here, as well as this guy's hands coming around and touching that sphere. Whereas I know it's showing that, like, if given the presence of his arm being bent and come here, just like his coming straight across out onto the table, and you can actually see his hand there, but you can't see it. But I'm telling you that there is also a shadow image of their hands. See his arm bent there, coming down to this sphere, and then his coming across as well. And I have the lines drawn for that. As I just now showed you. You can Google this image, Study of the Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci. Let me show you this here. And I didn't see that woman. I'm surprised I didn't see her there before. But you can hold on, I'm gonna go here where we're at here first of all. And I got some of these things highlighted. And I gotta come in from this side, I guess. That would be actually more simple. There's the face of the ape. The ape's mouth, the ape's nose, the ape's eye socket, all in the hair of this guy here. And look at the witch-like woman. There's her chin, there's her mouth, there's her nose, there's her eye, and his hair even creates a hood. A hooded witch-like woman, like the Madonna woman, right there next to the ape, as they always do appear together, people. There is a serpent shown being passed over by this guy, which represents the presence of Reptilian. Okay, also right here in the head, you will see the likeness of the snout of a dinosaur. Let me see if I can bring that in closer for you. Right there. See the snout of the dinosaur? I'm at the dinosaur's mouth, the nostril, and there's an eye in that darkened area. Shows reptilian presence taken out and passed on into this ape-like creature. Okay, right there. Alright, which actually signifies these bloodlines that are being transferred, people. Okay, now let's go. Oh, on the table here in front of them, you can Google the image and go to and verify what I'm actually showing you here. The ape. When you go there, there's actually the serpent, and you'll see that the head of a dinosaur. I have a video out on the Last Supper too that I decoded, people, so you can actually see the other version of this. And all of these things that I'm highlighting here are already in that as well too, in the painting. So there's a verification. Here, this is a fish. What kind of fish? A shark, killer whale-like fish. You know what I mean? A shark. Right here. Okay, shows you the mutations pulled out. They're cleverly disguised right in here. The likenesses of these mutations right there. Okay, this is the fish laid out on the table right there, people. Okay, now let's come over to here. What am I showing here? What am I showing? Oh, I know what this is. Didn't see it at first. Notice that this guy here is holding his abdomen area. Well, if you notice, this is a turned up face, or the underbelly of the shark. Open mouth, and it shows the presence of teeth in there. It shows you that this is the fish. The genetics of these genetics taken out and then passed on, and it shows you that these genetics were continued on. And this is imagine a shark coming up out of the water, and you're looking up. This is the nose part, this is the open mouth, and this is the bottom of the mouth there. And it even shows the presence of actually teeth there. So when you Google that image, you can actually verify it, and that's why you see this likeness of the whale. Even has a two-tone, people. Look at it. The black color, as we know, are orca whales, and then the white of the underbelly. And it even shows almost like a hand coming out of there. And then back here, it shows mutations being pulled out, which signifies genetics that was pulled out of this creature and actually taken into, calls for different likenesses and bloodlines of mankind. Okay, and then here it is. Here is shown in the clothing fashion. Not here is laid out on the table, but here is shown that it's inside, meaning that it is inside this being. And his clothing, bulging in his clothing, actually signifies the presence and the likeness of it. All right, what else is there that I want to show you about this? Oh, where Jesus will be standing at in the original Last Supper image by Da Vinci. You see how his hands are crossed at the table and laid out on the table? He's saying, hey, look, I was cross-referenced with everything that came in from both sides, from here, and there. And I'm prepared to say that I know that there's speculation out that this is a woman. And from everything that I've discovered, it is a woman. And I'll describe that as well later as why this is a woman, and I know for a fact that that is a woman, and why the genes is there. And it's basically because of what she is doing with her hand. And this represents the serpent. And I know how this genetic is actually being passed off. Okay? And it's showing you to this individual actually over here. Now let's come down here. All right. Oh, hold on. Didn't I put a cross up there? Yeah. Jesus in the original painting I said was cross-referenced, and that's what the cross actually means. And that's why his hands are there, cross like that, meaning the cross. Cross-referencing of genetics. That actually lends to my finding that the cross represents the cross-referencing of genetics. And if you notice that Jesus in the original, where is he at here? Oh, okay. In the original painting of Leonardo da Vinci, he's standing up with two tones of colors. That's what Leonardo da Vinci changed that with. I think it's blue and red. Shows that he was cross-referenced from the genetics of both sides. Genetically cross-referenced. Okay. Now I don't know if fish has blue blood. Blue-blooded fishes have blue blood, which would make perfectly sense if it does. But if blue blood or these reptilians have blue blood, but whatever that representation is showing that Jesus has red on one side and blue on the other side. And I'm almost 100% sure that those two different color significations means his clothing means the cross-referencing of those bloods, of those bloodlines, those genetics. Okay, which means they were cross-referenced. Jesus sacrificed himself on the cross for those bloodlines to be cross-referenced in his body. And you say for the sins of mankind, I said for the genetic mutations of mankind or likenesses of mankind. All right. So where we at down here? Let's come down here. Let's go to this person right here. Remember I told you that the arm can be realized. Da Vinci even has the lines there. I'm on top of the lines that are already there. So when you Google this image, you'll be able to see it. His hand can be realized in two positions. For a person just looking at this, you would swear that the arm comes down here and is up here underneath the blanket, which would actually be very peculiar in itself, people. And then his arm is shown coming out, and then his hand is there, but there's two hands. There's one there, and then there's one beside it, showing you the moving of position. Then his arm is shown bent around and coming around to these genetics right here in this ball. Do you know what that represents, people? That represents his genetics, which is in the form of semen. and it shows you right here. It shows you that there was a transferring of these genetics, and people, the only way that this could actually be done is through a homosexual act. Okay, so I mean, this is where we at with that. Now, to lend to that, you follow this arm back up after you see it, and you see this object. Look at this dark mass right here. You see the substance from that dark mass slowly but surely creeping back up the arm, and becomes that the head of a serpent over here. There's the head of a serpent right there, and you'll see the likeness of it right there, and then it shows a penis right there, and it's shown at the throat, meaning that this guy drank the semen from that guy and was genetically altered, and then it starts showing you other mutations, and it shows these genetics going back out. Now what do we have over here? Oh, here, let me bring that in closer so you can see that, what I just described. Can you see that penis there at his throat? And then look at the snake shown. Where we at here? There's the penis, people, right there, with the head and all. Okay, there's a mutation there, and then there's the serpent, the head of the serpent, and then there's other stuff there too, but I'm not going to go into detail. But look how the arm cleverly shown over here. There's the serpent right there. You know what that serpent has? This is considered an egg, and the serpent has the egg in its mouth. And this here is symbolic of something that I have already discovered, which I'll bring up later on. But their hands are shown clasping this. So when you go in there and look for a hand clasping this object on top, and then one at the bottom. And there are hands out here, people. There are hands out, but the hand is turned over in a way that it's, I mean, there's two hands. There's one there, and then there's one next to it. But what I'm telling you is that what Da Vinci is signifying, that's how this arm fits. So just follow the lines that I've actually created there. It actually, Da Vinci has it set up to where it has you believing that the hand is up underneath this here, when actually the hand is reaching across, and it shows you what it's actually reaching for, this man's genetics, and pulled back, and they're actually taken out. Now what do we have here? You have an ape that's encrypted in his face, the length of his face, okay? His eye would be the ape's eye. There's a nostril, and there's a lip, okay? I call him the prisoner. You know why? Because it's showing that he has all of the genetics in his body. He's almost similar to that of what Jesus has done here, okay? But he's a prisoner because these genetics are being cocktailed in his body, okay? On the back of his head and his hair, you'll see the mother of creation. There's her eye, there's her nose, there's her chin. And now, look at this guy. Eyes open, look like a zombie. What you don't see is his mouth is open. What is his mouth open on? Showing you that he's taken in all of those genetics. You see that the ape that's in the side of his mouth, he has the ape's cheekbone, which would be in his mouth, and then it shows the snake. You know what it shows? You know what that represents, people? That this man took in the genetics of that of ape, black man, and was cross-referenced, and the new genetic was actually created based on the chemistries that was all done at this table. And that's what this Last Supper mess is all about. It's not about no dinner, people. It's about these genetics being transferred. Now let's go to my last and final thing. Now these are all things that you can Google, okay? To understand this a little bit more, because I know I'm giving it to you in layman's terms, you have to go and check out my other videos. Okay, you get to understanding this a little bit more and understanding why these encryptions are here. And then if you don't want to believe any of what I'm saying, then why am I finding all of this stuff that is in here? This man has, why would he have his cloak in his mouth in the form of that of a serpent, and then there is an ape image in his face, and then a witch-like woman on the back of his head, and all of these other encryptions that I have showed you here. So, right here, an ape there, and a serpent, and shown taking the ape shown taking things from the serpent, and the serpent shown taking things. Look at that. Why would that be there, people? Why would these faces look so discombobulated the way they did if I didn't know what I was talking about? Now here we are right here. This is the one that's right there in your face. This guy here, he has a rolled back hairline. In his rolled back hairline, which is back here, there's the hair. It creates the image of a witch-like woman. There she is. There's her eye. There's her mouth and there's her chin. Oh, I gotta get this other image up. There's her chin there. And she has a snake coming out of her chin into the mouth of this guy. You will be able to see that. It's in your face. Okay? There's no, I highlighted it there for you. But look. People, what do you think Leonardo da Vinci is telling you there? And then in her hair, she's facing him. Oh, hold on. She's facing him with that object going into his mouth. And then on the hair, which is supposed to be his hair, his receding hairline, it just gave her hair, right there facing him with that snake-like object coming out of her mouth. There in her hair, there's another one of her likenesses facing off in the other direction. And then it shows you the cocktail chemistry of these genetics, right there, and the direction that they're going to in his hand. Look at his hand, takes the position, takes the likeness of that of a serpent, showing you that they're going out. People, this mess is too real. It really is. If you start looking at these things for what they really are, look in these areas, what Da Vinci was actually trying to tell us here, you will be able to see that that's all he was referencing was genetics. Look at the hands. You can even see hand motions today in Christianity on how the hands are turned up and they look like snakes, pointing snakes. It tells you the reptilian bloodline of this serpent, and it tells you just seeing the hand. Those that know these codes, and there are royalty that know these codes, the Vatican that knows these codes, just knowing that hand position, knowing the presence of the snake at the hand in these ancient Renaissance artists' artwork, they know that it means all of this right here. The indicating signs of it, like a gang sign almost, tells you what it all means and what it all represents. To see this, that hand sign there, and down here, and down here, is to know all of this and what this represents. Now, I want to take you to something. Where is that other image? I had another image of Leonardo. Here it is here. Is this it? No, this is not it. This is it. I did this image yesterday with Leonardo da Vinci. Remember I told you this is what these encryption styles are all coming to full circle and showing you the same exact encryption styles being shown. Now you see that woman there? You see that woman there with that snake coming out of her chin and into his mouth? There's her nose attached to his face right around his ear. Like, check this out, people. I'm going to show you something here. Notice how she's in his ear and in his face right there. Her nose is at his ear. Now check this out. I'm going to show you an identical image. Well, I did from two images of Leonardo da Vinci. You see her nose at his ear and that snake-like object coming around? Here we have it again. Her likeness. These are the five characteristics, I believe, of man by Leonardo da Vinci. It's the same one right here in the video that I showed you yesterday. Her eyes there, her nose, and it shows you her mouth is at this guy's ear right there. Now check this out. Now this is the video I made yesterday, so I'm not gonna go into that there. But check this out. Here's something more compelling than that. And a horse with two riders, made in the 15th century by Leonardo da Vinci. If you Google that image, you will see, where we at here? I gotta try to, alright, where we at? Right here. The horse with two riders. When you Google this image, right there, by Leonardo da Vinci, first of all, in the ear, you see the likeness of the witch-like woman here. There's the nose, there's a cheekbone, there's a chin, and the eye will be right there. So look right in there in that image. And then go here. And in the anatomy of this rider on the horse, there's a witch-like woman right here. And her nose is shown morphing that of this person. But more importantly, you go right here to her chin. Here's her elongated chin right there. and you will see that same snake-like object leaving her chin and injected into the side of that horse's neck. And you actually see the same exact lines that is right here. The identical same image right there going to that guy's mouth. You see that? Her chin, that witch-like woman's made in his face, showing you a genetic exchange. The same identical image is encrypted right here. And all you have to do is just go Google that image, The Horse with Two Riders by Leonardo da Vinci. And let me see if I can bring that in closer for you. And that is her chin. You will see her likeness right there. I mean, you have to Google it and enlarge it, but you'll see it. This is her chin, and that snake, like an umbilical cord, is attached to that of the horse. Same image is right here. Alright? People, Leonardo da Vinci knew how we were created. Leonardo da Vinci knew of the becoming of mankind, the evolutionary becoming of mankind, and Leonardo da Vinci's work, I found most of his work to be explaining how mankind genetically came, how he was genetically altered, and how the process is continuing through today, and what we can expect from those genetic manipulations and bridgings that took place in the past. There's time periods on this stuff of what we can expect to be happening. A lot of it can be witnessed today, and a lot of it has to do with the destruction of genetics and the creation of new, meaning that old genetics are being left behind. So where we originated from, the ape, Africans, all of that can be expected to die off as new genetics are being created, and those genetics were actually cross-canceled out. And in some cases, I mean, it was done purposely through a process that has been going on since the beginning of our time. Alright, that's the best way I guess I can sum that up. My name is Gerone Wright. You're watching my Geronification channel, and these are some of my updates and highlights. I gave you this ape before, okay, but now I gave it to you a more defining feature. But look at that guy there kissing that snake and showing that genetic exchange from that snake's mouth. And look at it, people, how that string of genetic is coming out through the ape's mouth. Look at this over here, and it's shown attaching right here to this man's finger. That finger there. Look at his hand that he's holding that object across here. That's coming from way across here. He's reaching around his back, showing you that there's a genetic bridge across the both of them. There's the finger, and then it shows the finger in the snake's mouth, and then the ape, and there's an exchange. It shows you genetic. This is what you call genetic bridging, people. And then you have an image of a dinosaur up here in the guy's back of his hair. People, come on now. I mean, you can't. I mean, what in the world is there not to understand about that? Da Vinci is an accomplished artist. Why in the world would he be making these people look the way they did if it wasn't for everything that I am discovering? It's illogical. My name is Gerone Wright. You're watching my Geronification channel. You can also catch me on Alien UFOs. Thank you for watching. And as always, I ask that you share my videos with others. Leonardo da Vinci is decoded. And I'm just scratching the surface of what there is to be realized about this image. And once I have some experts on board, we'll take this thing to new heights and new levels and of understanding. Thank you.